Welcome to the Digital Bindery web series, eBooks, How Do They Work? This video will discuss ebook file formats in a very simple way and how to get inside those files to begin the process of formatting your ebooks on your own terms. The two formats we will discuss today are EPUB and MOBI. These are the two most popular file formats for ebooks. EPUB files can be read on the vast majority of e-reading devices, including the Nook, Kobo Reader, iPad, Android tablet, the Sony Reader, smartphones, PCs, and Macs. The Kindle is one very huge exception. The Kindle uses the MOBI format. The extension AZW is also used for Kindle books, but don't worry about that yet. I only mention it because if you get all of your information from Wikipedia, you might get confused or think I'm off my rocker. There are other file formats out there. These are just the two most widely used for now. EPUB and MOBI files are similar in many respects, kind of like how a paperback and hardcover edition of a book are similar. They are both books, and they both contain the same content, but the production process and the materials are different. You can also think of these two like a beta versus VHS tape if you're old enough, or a Blu-ray versus an HD DVD if you're not. The outsides are very similar, but if you put it into the wrong machine, it won't work. Both EPUBs and MOBIs are compressed files. You're probably familiar with compressed or archived files with extensions like .zip or .tar. The icons might look like a zippered file folder, a filing cabinet in a vice grip, or a cardboard box. Compression is a way of making your big, bulky book into a small, portable file. Think of it like the space bags as seen on TV. You take a huge pile of bulky sweaters, which is your book, and suck out all the extra space so it will fit nicely into your suitcase. Compressing a file is slightly more complicated than sucking air out of a fancy Ziploc bag with a vacuum hose, but the end result is simple. We end up with a smaller file that contains the book, and depending on how and what we compress, we have either an EPUB or a MOBI file at the end. In order to work on an EPUB, to take it from the sloppy, painful state that results from automatic conversions, we need to unpack the file and really get at the root of the problem. Going back to our space bag analogy, imagine you're going on a vacation. You plan on swimming, going to a cocktail party, rock climbing, and reading a lot. You tell your automatic packing robot what you will be doing, and she dutifully packs your clothes and puts them into a space bag. You can see everything that's in the bag, but if you're going to trade out that awful golf shirt that hasn't fit you since 1997 for something more appropriate, you're going to need to unpack. Most computers recognize that the EPUB or MOBI files are just a compressed archive. You can right-click for PC users or Control-click for Mac users and select Unzip, Extract, or Decompress from the menu. If all else fails, simply rename the file to the file name plus .zip and do what you would normally do to open that kind of file. The computer may protest that you have changed the file extension and warn you that it may cause all kinds of problems, but it won't. No fear. When you open the file, you will find three special prizes. There will be two directories or folders and one file. The folder will be named meta-inf and OEBPS. The file will be called MIME-type. Feel free to explore. If you're brave, you could even see what happens when you change things. Stay tuned for the next episode of Digital Bindery's web series, eBooks, How Do They Work?, in which we will examine such mysteries as MIME types, metadata, and recompiling. If you have questions or would like to suggest a future episode in this series, you can contact me at amanda@digitalbindery.com.